guys, it's Marcia here. Hope you guys are doing all right. Today I just quickly want to talk to you guys about graduating yourself as a musician, giving yourself a promotion as a musician. This is part of my creative little pieces that I release every now and then. I also do creative workshops and online teaching and all of that. So I've been thinking about the concept of who promotes you as a musician, as an artist. I mean, if you're in a day job or in a corporate job or even at school, I mean, we're so conditioned at school. Every year you graduate to the next year, and if you do good in sports, you graduate, or you have some sort of a ceremony to praise you. If you do good in culture, the arts, or in academics, you get your certificate, your medal. In our days, we still got medals. We received medals and certificates, gold and silver and bronze and all of that. And then you go from the one grade to the next, and then you matriculate, you go to university or tech or wherever you go in life. It doesn't have to necessarily be academic, but in the end, you're still being graduated and promoted and kicked up by society in some sort of a formal way. And we don't have that as musicians. So I think there's two important things here. And the first is that you kind of have to give yourself credit for what you've done already. That's the first thing. So, I mean, we just play and play and play. Some musicians will play for 20, 30, 40 years, 5 years, and they never really look back and see what they've achieved. And I think that is quite important, to sit down and kind of write down what you have achieved. What have you achieved in terms of gigs, in terms of albums, in terms of singles, in terms of songwriting, or anything that means anything to you. And I mean, it has to mean something to you. Some musicians are not gigging musicians. Some of them only record, some only gig. So it's not necessarily a specific formula or a specific way to do it, but you have to, first and foremost, just give yourself that credit and say, okay, I've achieved this and this and this and this and this. Maybe have a little ceremony for yourself. I don't know, something, or write it down, because it helps. It helps because no one is going to come to you. I mean, we're not going to receive SAMAs and Grammys and all of that. Not that I think it really matters that much. But you have to kind of just initiate yourself into the next phase. And I think that's important, because when you come to a point where you understand that even though there's no one giving you showing you the exact ropes and saying to you, this is level 1, this is level 2, 3, 4, like you get in academics or like you get in a game or whatever, you don't get someone or a system that tells you, okay, now you've graduated, you can now move on to the next stage. And I think that is quite important, because you might get stuck in a loop in a certain level of gigging, or a certain level of songwriting, or a certain level of singing. And then you just kind of go with that for the rest of your life, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to keep on bumping yourself up, if you do believe in that kind of system, then you have to be aware of where you're at and what the next level is going to be. Like, for instance, when I decided I'm not playing a certain type of gig anymore, not because of this and that, just because I knew that I've now done that, I need to go now to the next level. The type of music and the type of performance and the type of everything, just, you need to do better. You need to, like, for instance, these songs that I'm singing for the Total Eclipse of the Heart show, which is quite challenging. I mean, we're talking here of singers that Jim Steinman wrote for, guys like Meatloaf, the woman from Pandora's Box, Air Supply, Bonnie Tyler. You know, those type of songs, the ranges of those songs are way different than the stuff that I'm used to. Not that my songs aren't necessarily complex in vocal ranges, but these songs have a bigger, more operatic kind of vocal range, not the operatic, but you know what I mean. It is kind of operatic pop in a way. So all of a sudden I'm faced with a higher level of craftsmanship. And it's because I bumped myself up and say, okay, from now on I'm doing this. So basically what it boils down to is you need to bump yourself up. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And to do that, you need to stop doing certain things completely and start doing other things. Because I think that's where the challenge lies, in confidence as well. And say to yourself, I have now reached this level. I can go to the next level. And what does the next level mean? And I think it differs from musician to musician and from artist to artist. What does the next level mean? Does it mean more money? Does it mean bigger shows? Does it mean going from bar, restaurant to theater? Does it mean traveling overseas? Does it mean you start dressing differently? You start upping your image, all of that. So yeah, that is something I think it's quite important, is to initiate yourself into the next level yourself, but give yourself credit for what you've done and say to yourself, you now graduating to the next level because no one else is going to do it. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. We'll see each other again.